Magomed Ankalaev and Alex Pereira is official for UFC 313. Just like all good things, all bad things have to come to an end. The ducking era has come to an end. Like, except for John Jones, who I think is going to go on and retire, dude. You know what I'm saying? I think Jones is kind of done for. But Merab, he was quote-unquote ducking Umar. Goes in there, he not destroys Umar. He beats Umar in a very close fight, very competitive fight. Now the another major duck in the UFC who no one wants to call out for, Alex Pereira. Of course, Alex Pereira, the only time he quote-unquote wanted to fight Ankalaev was Ramadan last year. Didn't want to fight. He wanted to fight Yuri second time over Ankalaev. He would rather fight Khalil Roundtree than Ankalaev. But now he's fighting during Ramadan. Was this strategic on Alex Pereira's team management? I don't know. But it was smart. Like, I think this was the best case scenario for Alex Pereira, taking a fight during Ramadan, because he knows that, Ankalaev's not going to be... Well, he's going to, it's not like, if just because you're fasting, what I'm saying, not drinking, not eating, what I'm saying, it's not like you're going to be a whole different person. Most of his training camp, a good amount of his training camp is going to be, like, outside of Ramadan. Towards the end, like, the closing into training camp, he's going to be in Ramadan, so it's going to be a little hard to train with, like, no water, no food, but he'll overcome it once the sun falls, back to his eating habits and his healthy eating. It just must suck when you have to, like, eat healthy. It's like once you want to break the fast, you usually want to eat something, like, but he has to keep that eating healthy and keep that good hydration going. But, if I'm Ankalaev, I'm taking this risk. Could he have sat out till 314, 315? Yes, but what Alex Pereira would have done, he would have fought like an unranked guy or something. So I feel like Ankalaev's seen this as his last shot. If I don't take this, Alex Pereira's probably never going to give me a shot. And I agree with that. I think Alex Pereira would never give him a shot again if he were to not take this fight. So high risk, high reward for Ankalaev, because you could achieve your dream. You become champion. You could be that guy. So I'm not mad at Ankalaev for taking this. And for Alex Pereira, you did the right thing for taking the fight during Ramadan, making sure he's going to be at some kind of disadvantage. That's a smart thing. If I'm Alex Pereira, I do that every time. Hate it or not, it's a good idea. Now, of course, this was just announced on UFC 311. First, it was leaked, and then it was announced afterwards. And I'm going to say my early predictions. Of course, Justin Gaethje and Dan Hooker is also confirmed on this card, so we're going to look at both of those fights, and I'm going to tell you my early predictions. Keep in mind, these are early predictions, so they can change maybe later on, but this is what I'm just feeling right now. This is what I'm feeling, the energy I'm feeling. Most of you guys already know, but let's talk about some specifics real quick. First and foremost, the Ankalaev vs. Pereira prediction. We're going to break this down a little bit, and I think Ankalaev is better everywhere aside from kickboxing. Now, when I say kickboxing, I really just mean kicking, because, like, as far as boxing goes, Ankalaev is the better boxer. I'm going to talk about that a little later, but of course, kickboxing, Ankalaev's like, we've seen Ankalaev be hurt from low kicks from Jan Blachowicz. But the only difference is from Blachowicz and Pereira that people don't understand is Blachowicz was throwing inside kicks against Ankalaev, and he was kind of going shin to shin with him. You know what I'm saying? When you're a southpaw, it kind of forces Alex Pereira, whose best weapon is usually his outside leg kick. He's not going to be able to do that against Ankalaev. So if he wants to be Jan Blachowicz, he can go shin to shin, but I don't think Alex Pereira is the type to do that. He doesn't throw a lot of inside leg kicks, because he's not a big fan of going shin to shin. But if he wants to, he could do it. Someone like Rakic, if anyone knows, in my opinion, outside of Alex Pereira, I think Rakic has the best low kicks. They're just really heavy. They're very efficient. And the way Ankalaev reacted and just countered them and checked them, it shows me that Ankalaev was so ready for Rakic. And I think on paper, Rakic is a harder fight than Alex Pereira. This is my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that I could look at a performance against Rakic, and I know Ankalaev responds very well to low kicks, I'm very impressed. I'm very happy. And I'm very confident in this fight. I've never been more confident. People look at the Rakic fight for some reason, trying to I don't know, dude. It's just like he just didn't look good against Rakic. He looked great against Rakic. I don't think people actually watched the fight. Like, people say, fight was so boring because Ankalaev was boring. If you guys actually watched the fight, I could tell who watched the fight and who didn't, because anyone who said he had a bad performance didn't watch the fight. Ankalaev was hurting him with straight punches, and Rakic started backing up the whole fight, just didn't want to fight him. He didn't want to engage in him. So even when Yuri beat Rakic, Rakic was just tagging up Yuri, and then Yuri literally had to chase this guy. Like, Rakic is someone who's he's a very technical fighter, but if you hit him with something of significance, he's gonna run away, kind of, and back up, which is all good. He's still a great fighter, but once Ankalaev led him with a straight left, straight right, he just kept backing up and circling and kind of running from Ankalaev, and Ankalaev just chasing him. Rakic just didn't want to fight that night. It's all good, but Ankalaev still looked great in that fight. And yeah, it's just Ankalaev's boxing is the best in the division, and a lot of people, it's hard for other people to grasp. They think Pereira's the best boxer because casuals just say, oh, Pereira has knockout power, so it must mean he's the best boxer. Pereira in his whole career has struggled with straight punches. The Yuri one fight, Yuri was catching him with a lot of straight punches before he finished him later on. Israel Adesanya, every single 1-2, every single Izzy fight, he hit him with a 1-2 or straight punch. You know what I'm saying? That's just it's just what he struggles with. Khalil Roundtree in his last fight, straight punches. Khalil Roundtree is very similar to Ankalaev as far as like how he always counters with off of low kicks with straight punches. Every time he low kick Khalil, he's gonna do a straight punch into a counter. Same with Ankalaev, is very quick with it. The only drastic difference between Khalil and Ankalaev is that Khalil's fatigues, Ankalaev does not. Ankalaev's not gonna beat the crap out of Pereira and get tired. You know what I'm saying? And Ankalaev is not opposed to like clinching and mixing it up and making it hard. It's gonna be a long day for Alex Pereira. Like I said, Alex Pereira's biggest weakness is straight punches. And your biggest weakness is a straight punch, right? And Ankalaev's best weapon is a straight punch, right? Do you guys see where there's kind of a problem there for Pereira, who keeps his arms low? You know, it's just, it's a matter of time. Like, people always say this. Yeah, dude, if Ankalaev doesn't mix it up, he's not going to win. Ankalaev wins if he wants to strike only. Of course, it would be easier for Ankalaev to win to be using MMA, mixed martial arts. Of course, brother. You know, this is going to be easy, brother. You know, this is what I think. But he can win only boxing. And the way he responded to low kicks against Rakic shows me that he's just better than Alex Pereira everywhere, isn't it? The only thing Alex Pereira could beat him in is probably a straight up kickboxing match, you know, because he's just more experienced there. But I just don't see him being a better boxer than Ankalaev, being stronger physically than Ankalaev. If this is a clinch fest, if we see a Batista Max, I'm gonna get pissed, but I'll kind of laugh, because Magomed Ankalaev can Batista Max Pereira if he really wants to, hold him against the fence and just muscle him or something. Like, I don't know, that's a possibility. Unfortunately, I don't, even as a fan of both guys, I don't want to see that though. I don't want to see Ankalaev just kind of hold him against the fence and just out muscle him and outwork him. I wouldn't mind if he does it later in the rounds if he's a little bit tired. And I won't be surprised if he takes him down, controls him, bro. Like, Ankalaev just has way more weapons at his disposal to win. How does Alex Pereira beat Ankalaev? Catch him. It's not easy to catch Ankalaev. Ankalaev has a good chin. He's been caught by someone like Thiago Santos, who hits like a truck. He ate those punches, you know what I'm saying? It's just Ankalaev has a really good chin. He's just more well-rounded. Like, the truth of the matter is, and everyone who's watching this video actually understands it, but they could get frustrated if they're Pereira fan hearing this. The truth of the matter is, you know Ankalaev has more paths to victory than Pereira. But in your head, you're going to be like, I know, Kenny, you're right on that. But still, in my heart, I just think Alex Pereira is going to catch him with a one punch and knock him out. But the truth of the matter there is, Alex Pereira doesn't really have one punch knockout power, does he? Like, yeah, he has some follow-up shots, but he never really put anyone out cold with one punch in the UFC. His only out cold performance, I think, was Michailidis in his debut, and it wasn't a punch. I believe it was a knee. You know what I'm saying? His finish against Adesanya, was he out cold? No. Against Sean Strickland got dropped, yes, but he kind of went back up, was like, oh, I got knocked out, dude. I wanted to go to war. Fucking idiot. But yeah, Pereira, like I said, he does have power. I'm not trying to say he doesn't have a power to knock out Ankalaev, but if you're one thing of Pereira winning is relying on knockout power, then good luck, man. Ankalaev can win by knockout as well. Ankalaev could secure a submission against him. Like, you don't need to be a great submission specialist to submit someone like Alex when he's tired, in my opinion. He kind of gives his neck up. When he's on his back, he just looks so lost. Like, Ankalaev could be the first one to, like, you know what I'm saying, get that submission victory. I know Ankalaev doesn't have a great submission threat, but it's still a possibility, in my opinion. I think he could beat him by points. Ankalaev just has more paths to victory than Alex Pereira. So whether you like it or not, you know what I'm saying is right. Like I said, you might just disagree with it because you like Pereira, but you can disagree with facts if you want. It's just not going to help you when the fight comes into fruition now. And I said in the last point, Pereira's overrated resume, and I want to preface this. No offense, chat. Jamal Hill versus Yuri was a very interesting fight yesterday. It was a very fun fight. I'm going to say this. Yuri looked improved. So let me just give him credit there. His head move, his slips into his punches look very improved, but they look bad. Jamal Hill looked kind of shitty. Yuri looked bad, but better than Jamal Hill, if that makes sense. They were 1-1 before the third round, and before Yuri got that slick finish, which was a great finish, looked beautiful. But I realized, like, wow, like, we hype up Jamal, like, Pereira's went over Jamal and Yuri so much, but Yuri's nothing more than a guy who kind of lacks defensive ability, doesn't keep his hands up, gets hit a lot, and then Pereira just has power, so Pereira's going to finish him, of course. Then Jamal Hill, the more I look at Jamal Hill, chat, and see the way he fights, I get kind of confused how he even has wins in the UFC. I guess knocking out Johnny Walker is a gimme, but, like, I don't know how Jamal Hill, like, you know, he had so much, he just moves like a platypus, flat-footed, and I'm starting to look at for his resume, like, I don't even know what's going on. Like, yeah, you're beating Yuri Prochka and Jamal Hill and Khalil Rountree, the number 10 ranked guy who did get knocked out by, like, Johnny Walker and shit, but, like, these guys aren't good. This is actually a significant step up in competition for Alex Pereira, and I don't think anyone here knows it. Like, I don't think you know it, you know what I'm saying? I honestly think Ankalaev has a better resume, and I know it's going to sound crazy, but I think Krovlov, I think Uzdemir, you know, I think Rakic, I just think Thiago Santos, like, these guys stylistically, they're just a little bit more developed in that division and just look more, like, yeah, I think Yuri and Jamal have power, but everyone else I mentioned are just kind of well-rounded fighters who are kind of good everywhere, and Ankalaev has wins over all those guys, you know what I'm saying? So like I know what you guys are thinking in your head, but Kenny, Jamal Hill's a champion in the future, and I know, and I can't disagree with that. But I'm telling you guys, like experience wise, I really feel like Ankalaev went through the fire against better light heavyweights, skill for skill. Like Rakic is not just a striker, like a kickboxer, like Yuri and Jamal is. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, just like Khalil Rountree. Those are like all kickboxers. Rakic can mix it up. Uzdemir can mix it up. You know, Kravalov can mix it up. These guys can mix it up, and I feel like Thiago Santos too can mix it up. These guys aren't just like kickboxers, so I feel like Ankalaev is more diverse in that realm of fighting and went against better fight styles. Like I really feel like Pereira would struggle with the Rakic. I swear I do. Like I feel like no one's gonna understand what I'm saying until Ankalaev and Pereira fight, and you see that difference there. I really believe that Ankalaev's gonna shock a lot of people, and I know you guys are gonna be shocked. Like, why did this happen, dude? I'm not gonna be that shocked. I'm not gonna be like, I don't know. I just see it coming. Like I said, I'm not going to underestimate Pereira's power too much. Of course, he doesn't have one-shot power, but he has power to put you away because he put a lot of people away. He's almost like he's a ticking time bomb. If you don't get him out of there, aside from the Jan Blachowicz fight, who's someone who the mutual opponents they both share, and we can speak about that. One was a 3-rounder. One was a 5-rounder. You know what I'm saying? And Jan Blachowicz was taking down Alex Pereira and having great control with him. And then when Ankalaev and Jan fought, when Ankalaev was compromising his leg, he took him down. But like I said, I already talked about the inside leg kick of Jan Blachowicz compared to Alex Pereira, who barely throws inside low kicks. His best weapon is the outside low kick, and he's going to get the southpaw like Magomed Ankalaev. It's just going to be different. And if you're getting control, if the guy who's controlling you got controlled horribly by Ankalaev and got 10-8'd by Ankalaev in the 5th round, keep in mind that was a 5-round fight compared to their 3-round fight. I really feel like this might be a hot take. I think Ankalaev's performance was better against Blachowicz than Alex Pereira's performance against Blachowicz, because Alex Pereira, although it was a very controversial like win, even though Alex Pereira won, it was still close, very close. And I understand that on paper it was a draw with Ankalaev, but anyone who actually watched that fight kind of knew what happened in that fight. It was kind of clear, obvious win for Ankalaev. And Ankalaev went through adversity and was still able to adapt and recover, which shows me that if Ankalaev's going through adversity, where there's a leg pain or something, he could fight through that and he can make adjustments to his game plan. Initially, he was striking with Jan, and then he made the adjustment to wrestle when he needed to. I believe he's a smart fighter like that who can learn on the fly. It's going to be evident. The thing about Pereira, if he's getting outstruck or something, he can't really make the adjustment and try to wrestle or clinch, you know? He's kind of stuck into that one trick that he does very well, I'm going to give him credit for, but you're doing it well against people with no defensive ability like Yuri Prochazka and Jamal Hill with no footwork. This is not them. I'm telling you guys, this is going to be a really hard fight for Alex Pereira, and I feel like you're not fully understanding it yet, which you're going to know exactly what I mean when they're standing across from each other and you're kind of confused about why it looks so one-sided. Trust me, bro, this is a different level of thing, and I am going to give Pereira's credit because this is probably going to be the last time he's holding the belt. He was a great champion. He was very active. He's very entertaining. I do like Pereira, and I know they're never gonna believe I like him just because you know, I keep saying Ankalaev's gonna beat him and stuff. But listen, bro, facts don't care about opinions, and the fact that this situation is Magomed Ankalaev's gonna make it look easy. Maybe not easy, but he's gonna win the fight. You know, I'm sure Pereira might have a moment in the fight where he like hurts Ankalaev after getting destroyed the whole fight, and people might hold on to that one moment and talk about it when days to come and stuff after the fight's finished. But like I said, this is Pereira's best chance. He has him on Ramadan, you know. He's not going to be 100% healthy, so you have this guy, you know, you're fighting him during Ramadan. Take the best of that, you know. Try to use your endurance to your advantage, I guess, because this guy isn't going to be drinking water. I hope the sun has set by the time, or sun has like set by the time they're fighting. Hope it's at night, because if it's not, he's not going to be able to drink water in the corner, which would suck. But I'm pretty sure it was set. I don't know where they're going to, I think they're fighting Vegas. Depends what time the fight is, but hopefully the sun sets for Ankalaev so he can actually drink some water in the corners. If he doesn't, who cares? He can still get, like I said, it's going to be a tough night for Ank. It's a kind of tough end to his training camp because Ramadan, but I think if anyone could do it, it's going to be Ankalaev, and it's going to be a risky fight, but without no risk, there's no reward. So I feel like it's going to make that win that much sweeter for Ankalaev. And then when they rematch, Ankalaev's not going to have Ramadan, all that, and it's going to be a lot more convincing. But this is going to be a challenging fight for both guys, I think. But I think when push comes to shove, the better person is going to be pushing and doing the shoving, and that's Magomed Ankalaev. So that's my early prediction. I am going to lean towards Ankalaev, but like I said, you never know. Maybe something happened in training camp. Maybe this fight falls apart. Let me knock on wood. Make sure that doesn't happen. But yeah, this is what I think about this. All right, let's talk about this fight now. We got Hooker, we got Gaethje. This is going to be an interesting fight. I honestly think Hooker's the more intelligent striker. Using the word intelligent and looking at these two guys who like kind of have CTE inducing blows in fights, I almost feel like crazy, but they're real bad men. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're really tough. But I think Hooker's the more intelligent striker out of the two. I think he kind of has that CKB, like he could like low kick circle at times, finds his range a little bit better. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think Gaethje's a little bit more sloppy, especially in the boxing. Gaethje kind of throws like he almost, I'm not going to fully say Chandler-esque hooks, because Chandler kind of falls over himself when he throws his hook. Justin Gaethje kind of falls over himself too, but it's not as stupid as Chandler. He's a little bit more controlled than Chandler, which is crazy to even say because they're both kind of sloppy. And of course, Gaethje's coming off a brutal knockout, and Dan Hooker's coming off momentum, like a win streak accumulating compared to someone who's got brutally knocked out by Max Holloway, who is a very skilled fighter. I'm not trying to take it away for nothing from Max Holloway. I know he went up a weight class, but he gained the weight appropriately, and he was kind of just a better striker, and he kind of took him to school. And I just don't know how you recover from a knockout like that because he kind of went out bad. Gaethje's always kind of been wobbled, but like he never really got like flatlined that bad until Max Holloway from a lighter man. It was kind of bad. So it's like I don't know how to feel about this. Gaethje's kind of a reckless fighter. I do think it's going to be a war. I said war incoming. It's going to be a very interesting fight. For this fight, it's pretty, I want to say like 55-45 maybe, but I am going to give the slight advantage for now. This might change, keep in mind, to Dan Hooker. I just think Dan Hooker's momentum is a dangerous thing, and I feel like his CKB style can even like overwhelm Gaethje. If they get in the leg kicking battle, it's going to be very interesting because I know Gaethje has huge, heavy low kicks, but like Hooker got that little kind of that Adesanya-esque, like, oh, he's going to sting you. That hurt. That low kick hurt. And it opens up his boxing a lot better. And I do think Hooker's a little bit more technical. And yeah, maybe technical is going to outwill Gaethje, but I could also see Gaethje catch him. Either guy could catch each other. Someone's CTE is going to get it's going to get worse after this fight, but that's what we love as fans, and I feel bad for them, but we're going to enjoy it. It's going to probably be fight of the night. This is like fight of the night written all over it. I'm so sorry. This is like, even Ankalaev and Pereira, that might be competitive, but this is a whole different ball game. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting fight. I am going to lean Hooker for now, but yeah, overall this card's good, man. I'm really most excited about, of course, Ankalaev versus Pereira. These are the only two fights officially announced for 313. It's going to be a Ramadan card, so don't expect to see a lot of like Muslim or like Caucasus region fighters on this card who are Muslim because they're probably not going to fight during Ramadan. But Ankalaev is one of the few. He's a dime in a dozen, and he's probably going to get it done against Pereira. But let me know what you guys think about these fights. I'm actually hyped for this card. And Pereira, bro, you're not ducking no more. So, brother, we see you soon. Just be careful what you ask for because you just might get it. That's it for me, and God bless. 2, 3, 4.